I'm going to start part 4 here. I actually meant to stop a couple slides earlier. Just kept going. So I'm going to reiterate the split brain again. This is that condition that occurs when the corpus callosum is severed. It allows the hemispheres to reveal their primary functions, and as the brain had been split in two, so had the mind. This image shows the brain of a normal person whose corpus callosum is intact. This is the image in the upper left. It's that white area in the middle of the brain at the top of the brainstem. In the second image, the image shows the brain of a patient whose corpus callosum has been cut, the area indicated by the red outline. See, the shape is the same as the other. With the corpus callosum severed, the two hemispheres of the brain are almost completely separated. Visual input. This is affected by a split brain because what happens with vision is the left visual field goes into the left eye but then crosses over the corpus callosum and into the other hemisphere and on back to the associated area of the occipital lobe. The right visual field does the opposite. It comes through and crosses the corpus callosum over to the other hemisphere and to the associated part of the occipital lobes. Here's an example of a split brain experiment. It's the left hemisphere versus the right hemisphere. When a split brain patient is asked what he or she sees, the left hemisphere sees perhaps the fork on the right side of the screen and can verbalize that. The right hemisphere sees the left side of the screen but cannot verbalize what is seen. However, the patient can pick up the corresponding object using their left hand. They know it's there but can't process it. Interpreter. The left hemisphere's propensity to construct a world that makes sense is called the interpreter. On the basis of limited information, the left hemisphere attempts to explain behavior produced by the right hemisphere. Here, a split brain participant watches as different images flash simultaneously on the left and right. Below the screen is a row of other images. The patient is asked to point each hand at the bottom image most closely related to the image flashed on that side of the screen. The left hemisphere points the right hand at the picture of the chicken. The right hemisphere points the left hand at the picture of a snow shovel. When the split brain participant is asked to explain these selections, the verbal left hemisphere provides the answers. To explain the right hand selection of the chicken head, the left hemisphere says that the chicken claw goes with the chicken head. To explain the left hand selection of the shovel, the left hemisphere must interpret because it does not see the snow scene. The left hemisphere decides that the shovel is used to clean up after chickens. Are there left brain and right brain types of people? Failing to notice source credibility. You have probably heard the idea that some people are left brain logical types and others are right brain artistic types. Left brain thinkers are said to be more analytical, rational, and objective, while right brain thinkers are said to be more creative and to view the world more holistically and subjectively. Multiple tests are available, particularly on the internet, to determine whether you are a left or right brain dominant person. Countless pop psychology books give advice on living with your left or right brain dominance. Teachers have been urged to develop different classroom plans for left brain thinkers than for right brain thinkers. Nearly 90% of teachers in the United Kingdom and the Netherlands believe in the idea of left brain versus right brain thinking. The media has helped to promote false ideas that individuals are dominant on one side of the brain or the other side, and that such different styles are important for classroom learning, i.e., there's no such thing as a right or left-brained person. We both have right and left brains. They communicate via the corpus callosum, and we just are who we are. The evidence is overwhelming. People are not either left brain or right brain dominant. Hemispheres are specialized for certain functions such as language or spatial relationships, spatial as in terms like where things are in the room. However, each hemisphere is capable of carrying out most cognitive processes. A study of over 1,000 individuals aged 7 to 29 found no differences between people in the extent to which their right or left hemisphere was active. And thus concludes the shortened Part 4 of this lecture.